Hello, this is the Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. So feedback is greatly important. Feel free to reach out to me, and those sources will be provided for you. So some of the audio platforms that I'm on Spreaker, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, just to name a few. Alright, so this episode is centered around Malcolm in the Middle. So I'm going to extend on what I was talking about on Sunday when I upload on Substack about my thoughts. Now I'm going to give my thoughts about the aspects of Malcolm in the Middle and the aspects of revamping it and the aspects of the term dysfunctional, and how that relates to the show's main idea. Here we go. Alright, so my thoughts on the show Malcolm in the Middle. Now, the show Malcolm in the Middle, when it was really originally created in the 2000s, there's been a lot of commentary about this show. But it's a hot button issue with the aspects of crossing that fine line between disciplinary and just being a abusive parent. And there's a lot of theories that say that, for the most part, Malcolm in the Middle is focused around Malcolm, the main character. Not only is it from his perspective, you also get the insight of him coping with the aspects of his issues of how his family works and doesn't work. Now, there was a episode I remember in Malcolm in the Middle on later seasons of the original series when it originally aired that explained the reasons why the mother is the way that she is, with the disposition that she has with her sons. The oldest boy, for the most part, she was very loving and attentive, but he would push that level to push the button, until again she reached her breaking point to where she reinforced fear mongering and as a disciplinary factor into raising these boys. Also, with the aspects of intelligence and the aspects of dealing with that and blending that into everyday life, that was a main focus too in the way the flow of the show went. So it's quite interesting. Malcolm dealt with the aspects of being intelligent quite differently than Dewey did. So Dewey, he had a narcissistic view about the aspects, but they both had a narcissistic view from, somewhat similar, but from different perspectives. Dewey said that he made a point that his intelligence is more valuable because of he's a savant in music and so forth, so he sees the beauty and the aspects of everything in that sense. But Malcolm, he's gifted and talented in concrete things, with the aspects of science and math and so forth. And so that makes him disdain. It has a disdain view towards everyone else when, they don't flow or understand the same way, or they just are. It's one of those things where, is that really true? Because most of the time, his mother, particularly his mother, she would use his intelligence as a means as a factor to help his brothers, to be a protective layer for his brothers, when he just wanted to be a normal kid. And then that begs the question, is that really valuable in the aspects of his intelligence? Because when you keep constantly, your skills are something that has to be used to help somebody else. When you're forced to do it, when you don't have any will of your own, that changes the aspects of how you feel about being vastly superior in the aspects of intelligence. Hold on just a minute. And so, also the aspects of the male figure and the role that he played, their father played in their family, was very passive too. Was pacified too, because most of the time, I guess the father had good intentions, but most of the time he just went to the will and went into the aspect of what the mother thought about everything. And so this begs the question, this goes back to the question of the aspects of dysfunctional families. Now, the term dysfunction, and for the most part, is in the realm of saying that the core nucleus of something is not working. It's chaos. And that's very prevalent in the way that everything is ran and thought about in this family. And so, why is that? I think that, when we get into the aspects of shows like this, especially shows about family, when in the realm of the 2000s and a little bit in the 90s and so forth, but it was more prevalent in the 2000s here. The aspects of family and function was, in most part, a disdained thing. So what do I mean by this? The beneficial factors of being a family wasn't really prevalent, in that it was always some sort of issue. It's either that the father wasn't taken serious by the mom, and that links down to the children not seeing their father as a serious role model, and so they feel aloof towards him or don't give him the respect which is needed. And so that really gives a focal point and a center point into the aspects of, what is really said about the cultural value of family during these times. That for the most part, that's the issue with a lot of aspects of, excuse me, that's the issues with a lot of aspects of what was going on, what is going on, and how Hollywood views the aspects of family and tradition. Is for the most part something to either smear at or something to not take quite serious. And I think that the show Malcolm in the Middle really centers itself around the aspects of how that all works. Is well, now I'll pick and point at certain examples and then go from there. So the oldest boy, he was sent off to military school, and the main reason why he was sent off to military school, he was rebelling, or he didn't have the viewpoint that his mother did, so he did something to show her that disposition about it, and so she sent him away. So instead of talking to him and explaining things to him and saying, well, trying to find a common ground, is always this extreme. And I noticed that a lot about how things are run in the structure of this family in Malcolm in the Middle. Everything is always taken to the extreme. If something goes, if someone in the family royal viewpoint is challenged, they take it to an extreme to where it breaks down the aspects of the function of everything, of how the family goes. And I think that's why, it's a cop out, in itself, where everything, the fan theories, where everything, most of the characters they're really, the set place of the characters is an insane asylum. But with the fan theory that, Hal and Lois and the family, that they are set, they are really mental patients, that kind of makes some sense too, with the aspects of that. And then again, I think that makes some sense because, again, this is trying to that fan theory. This is from my point of view, exclusively my point of view, what I think, and I'd like to know what you all think. It explains to me that in the realm of reality, a family wouldn't normally function like that. There's something more to it. So the fact that they are actually mentally ill would explain a lot. And so this one is going to be a little short. I don't want to, keep beating at the rails about this, and I just want to get this out and to extend out to what I'm going to talk about on Wednesday. So I'm going to go back to the aspects of the rehashing of the show, today. So why do you think it's prevalent for this show to in itself be re-shown today? Again, it's unfortunate with the aspects that whatever worked one time, let's keep milking it out. Then the fear of the unknown, the fear of trying something new fell to the wayside in the society today, and that's very hindering. That hinders in the aspects of the cultural process, the cultural thoughts, and evolution and enlightenment of people now, especially young people. They don't have a real sense of something that's original, of us seeing something new. Now there's a saying that says that most of the time the stories that have been told is the stories that's already been told at the beginning of time. But it's just up to you again to what makes it everlasting and what makes it unique is to take that and make it different, tweak it, make it something that hasn't been thought about before. Think about that. And so, but on the flip side, maybe, like I said, with the aspects of Arrested Development here, maybe in the attempts of what they're trying to do with Malcolm in the Middle, bringing that show back, they're trying to restate or extend out what is what has evolved in this family's lives. Have they changed? Are they still holding on to the same values? And also, if they still hold on to the same values, how does that relate into the society in which we're living today? Because all of these, the children are adults now, and does their dysfunction, how does that translate in the aspects of how they are working through their own personal lives? And that's something to consider. Well, this reaches the end, and again, I would like to know what you all think. Feel free to reach out to me. This is the end of the Harboring Light. Tune in, turn up, and absolutely take care. Bye-bye for now.